And we're live.
We're live, all right. I can call the board meeting to order, February 15th, 6 p.m. We call the roll call, and see everybody's here tonight. We got all 5 board members. And like to welcome the community and newspapers, and teachers, administration that are here. We'll first start off with a pledge and invocation.
Please rise. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing.
Please remain standing. Thank you, Lord, for this beautiful day, and thank you for those that are here. And may we make wise decisions as we go forward with the school district. And just thank you for the grace and mercy you show us each day and be with us and help get over this pandemic and get it on out of the way. In thy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, that special report, that proclamation presentation, we've already done that. We got nice gifts from each school. And get a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
You move the second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Do we have any public participation? On our list back there.
Trail is back there.
Anybody signed up?
You got Dr. Sherry Shepherd.
All right.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hey,
I come to this board once again with two main concerns that I have. In October of 2021, I came to the board and made some comments to the board, or addressed the board, from a request that I made prior to the board meeting in writing according to your policy. I'm coming to urge the board, or to inform the board, if you are not going to be responsive to your own policies, how is it that you can hold other people accountable? According to your policy, you indicate that I am to make a request to the board regarding a concern that I have, which I did. I addressed those concerns, and I was to be provided a written response to my concern within 7 days. It has been more than 3 months, and I have yet to receive anything from this board. Attorney Luciano, who y'all approved last month, indicated that he would provide me that information. He verified my email address, you have my mailing address, and I have yet to receive that information. I have come to this board every month since then, indicating that I had yet to receive that information, even last month. I still don't have it. So if you will kindly follow your own policy. My second concern regards staff diversity at our schools. We have 6 elementary schools. Of those 6 elementary schools, they are led by 3 white principals. In those schools with the 3 white principals, about 90% or more of their staff is white. My concern is research proves that when students are provided environments with a diverse staff, it not only improves the achievement of the black students, but it also improves the achievement of the white students as well. Our students deserve diversity. Now look at your test scores that you just recently got. In 2019, the State Department of Education assigned ratings to the scores that you already had. Other than Hayes Cooper, who have the top students in the district, and Cleveland High School and Parks, who got a C, fairly, then the other schools are these schools underperforming. I want every student to have a good chance of being provided a quality education. And that comes with staff diversity. The lack of diversity in our staff, with our staff, it doesn't make any sense. I'm finishing up. It doesn't make any sense. Because those other 3 schools that I didn't get a chance to talk about have black principals and black staff. That is not right. I'm begging the board to address those concerns such that all kids can exceed at high levels and all be provided opportunities for colleges, careers, and for life. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anybody else on the list?
No, sir.
All right. We'll move right into the cabinet update.
All right, how's everyone doing today?
Good.
I ain't seen you since you last time. So, we'll go through the board report, update. Right here we have our vision, our mission, our values, and our fundamentals, as we always do. We have our 4 goals: student achievement, positive culture, community engagement, and employee retention. We'll start with the update. Tonight, we have a MDE literacy night that's happening right now at the middle school. So MDE is here. They're doing a presentation for K3 at our middle school tonight. Something that was arranged. This is the second time they've done it here, which is good. Let's talk about some celebrations. Tonight we're doing board recognition. So if everybody on here is watching, you'll see the board has all these gifts that's around. This week is Board Appreciation Week. So it is an appreciation for you. We thank you for serving, as you don't get paid enough for all the stuff that you have to do and have to go through. So it's a task. A lot of decisions have to be made. So we appreciate it. Every school represented, a couple schools represented every school board member and brought gifts.
Tell them thank you, Morris.
We will. We have our first state championship. And first one. We have a bowling, and it's led by Coach McLemore. They won a state championship in bowling, which is a great feat. That's our first one. Hopefully many more to come. We also have district champs in boys soccer, which Coach DePhelps and Coach Brock. We have that happened as well. We have district champs in boys basketball, which is Coach Berryhill and Coach Strong. And we also had a district runner-up in girls, which is Coach Williams and Coach Townsend. So they're still playing throughout the tournament, so they are off to another tournament. I don't think that's tonight. I don't think so. We had district fair winners. We had district read fair that went around to the district. We had multiple winners from multiple schools. So that was a good accomplishment too. I told you, we got a lot of good celebrations. It ain't all negative. Contracts have been returned for the 22-23 school year. We get them out early so we can get them back so the principals can start hiring. It was a good turnaround. And to do that, we also have our district job fair that's coming up this weekend, on the 19th. We have it at the high school. We're inviting everybody to come as much as we can. This really helps the principals not wait so late. The recruiting, the retention, and all that stuff, that really helps them get the people that they need if they can start early. If you get the contracts out late, you're gonna be late trying to get people. So we always try to start early. That way you don't have a problem hiring people. Saturday school, our second Saturday school will be this weekend. Our first Saturday school, we had over 150, I think it was 150 that attended at the Saturday school. So we're expecting a lot more. We had some quarantines at some schools, and some kids that were supposed to come, they weren't able to come. So we provide transportation, we provide a snack, and we provide breakfast for the kids. And all that's paid through our SMO.
Is it all day or just the morning time?
It's just in the morning time. It's like 4 hours. So all the principals have a strategy of what they're trying to do. And we're trying to really target some of our low kids, but we had a lot of high kids to come to that to help them out.
Got a question on that. What are we doing for the schools that had on like 4 students?
Well, and we talked about to the principals, I think Parks was one that had a low attendance.
Yes.
And I think the high school had low.
And, they're calling the parents, they call them all week, they call them weeks in advance. We try to tell them to get them to come, some people just won't come. Parks Construction, if you haven't been over there, you can see that there's a roof and there's some walls up. So, they're progressing, as long as the weather permits, we'll be okay. The aim goal to be done is April, May, somewhere around there. So we'll take a good tour. Ice machines. It's a big deal. We all have ice machines now. Every school has an ice machine. And as they say, it has the good ice, it has the sunny ice. So every school has an ice machine now. So at first we only had one school with an ice machine. So now all schools have ice machines. State assessment, 54 days before the state assessment begins. The window opens up in 54 days, so we have 54 days before the state window opens up for the state assessment. Planning for the 22-23 school year has begun by all the principals, plans. You're gonna get a lot of documents that's about to come through about all the plans and things that we have to create for the upcoming year. All of those manuals and all that stuff that'll be coming through so you can approve, so it'll be a lot. Last thing, the program for research and evaluation for public schools, that's PREPS. We received a few awards. We'll end on a good note. 5th grade ELA Growth Award went to Pierman.
Okay.
Bell. Our 6th grade ELA Growth Award went to Bell. The 3rd grade Math Growth Award went to Pierman. 5th grade Math Growth Award went to Bell. And the ACT Growth Award went to the high school. So they thank you for that. The last part is the business office. Ms. Kennedy?
ADA, there's a chance ADA is gonna improve.
It will. In time. Like I said before, when we have breaks, when we have transit breaks, what I mean by transit breaks like Christmas, Thanksgiving, spring break and all of that stuff, man, the quarantines are high in the beginning, and it takes us about 6 weeks to taper off. So, and then that's not counting all the other quarantines and stuff that we have, and people just missing on normal. So, I know some other districts that are well below what we are, but we still not at the standard that we want to 95%.
I mean, of course, we've got a problem district-wide, we're below our stated goal,
Yep,
but especially at the high school and middle school,
with the A's,
I mean, 85% at the high school.
yeah,
We can't teach them if they're not there.
I agree.
And also on your teacher ADA, you know, keep it 3%.
But that's a VOTEC.
Yeah, I know it doesn't list at 6, but I mean, 3 of them's out.
Got,
That was a combination of quarantines, of staff, and also, our breach of contract people.
Okay.
So that's why those numbers are low.
Hats off to Pierman. What, high school ADA was 90%.
On the teachers.
teachers, right.
Yeah, teachers.
And I give it to the principals, man, they're working. It is a task at hand every day. They're juggling a lot, they're trying to make it work, not to try to make an excuse for them, but it could be worse. I think they're doing a pretty good job, not saying that they're perfect, but, and the teachers too.
That's right.
We have teachers that's coming that's not 100%, that don't have COVID, you know, so I give them credit too. You ready?
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm here to give you the financial update for the December 2021 bank reconciliation. Your cash on hand for your district maintenance account was a little over $13 million. Payroll had $577,000. Accounts payable, a little over $171,000. And food service had $1.3 million on hand. Fund balance through December, all funds, a total of $19.1 million. Last year, this time we had about $12.7 million, for an increase of $6.3 million. District maintenance fund balance was 11.7 million. Last year, we were at 6.9, so an increase of 4.7 million.
What do you attribute that increase to?
We have a lot of additional funds. Also, we had a big, insurance check that came in December that also helped with that.
Okay.
Statement of revenues, through December, we have about 15 million. Last year, we got about 13.4 million, so we got an increase of 1.6 million. And statement of expenditures, 14.8 million. Last year, this time, we spent 16.4 million, so we have decreased our expenditures by 1.5 million. Any questions?
And if there are no questions, you all have the PowerPoint with all the other departments on it, and that concludes my report.
All right, can I get a motion to approve the cabinet update?
So moved.
Second.
Move to second, all those in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it. Approval of consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
All right, been motioned, can I get a second?
I second.
Been motion and second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The daytime necessary board meeting Thursday, March 10th, 6 p.m. Thursday, March the 10th.
Because that next Tuesday is the spring break, and Monday is the spring break.
Wait a minute,
March 10th on Thursday.
Yep. That following week is spring break.
following week is free.
Yes, ma'am. That's when we would normally have it.
Everybody all right?
Yep.
All right, can I get a motion to that effect?
I'll make a motion for the next regular scheduled board meeting Thursday, March 10th at 6.
Been motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Approve the claims docket.
All right,
Well, I hadn't got much except the dates on these open POs. What are we doing to correct that?
Okay, we do have a procedure in place. One of the, procedures that we have started was to give the schools a weekly report of all of the open POs and invoices that they have. That will go out on Monday, and they have until Wednesday to give us an update on those reports. If there are any invoices that need to be sent over, or any invoices that need to be voided or deleted, this communication now that we're putting in place between the accounts payable department and the principal at the school building, so we can stay in contact with those invoices and make sure they're updated and getting paid on time.
what's the consequences if they don't meet their deadline?
Well,
Y'all have discussed that?
That would be me.
You and him?
And we've also did some closing of some, open POs. We did some stuff today, after talking to, accounts payable and receivable. Said, we started closing some of them so we can get some stuff done better.
So that was my question. I did see a write-up, of what's in place, so that was what, January?
Mm-hmm.
So giving us 60 days when we come back March, we should be up
much
to date.
better.
We should be much better. Hopefully, we're all cleared up. That's the plan. You asked for a written procedure last time.
We got it.
That was the main thing I had. Unless somebody else has got some questions. I'm getting better at figuring
Then
them out.
I would figure them out. All right, can I, if anybody got any more questions, can I get a motion on claims docket?
No more questions?
Any more questions?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I say.
Been motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Approved to accept the bid from Upchurch Plumbing for HVAC projects, which is way on up there in the millions of dollars. How much?
3.7,
3.7 million.
3.7, 708,000, $3,708,000 for Upchurch Services This is for HVAC systems, for Bell Academy, D.M. Smith, H.M. Naylor Park, Pyramid, Hayes Cooper Center, Cleveland Career Development Center, and Walter Robinson Achievement Center.
The only two we have left is the high school and the junior high, right?
High school and junior high, which will be done on the ESSER 3.
All right. Can I get a motion to
Hold on,
that
hold
effect?
on, hold on. So we only got one bid.
We only received one bid, yes, sir.
All right, so when you only receive one bid like that, I mean, how do you know we got a good bid?
Well,
What's
just,
the protocol for when you receive one bid?
when we had other companies that was interested, didn't turn in a bid. But when we just only have one bid, it is up to the board either to accept that bid, or we can go and rebid it out. Normally, you rebid it out, then the price goes up.
All right, let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
There's an architect obviously involved in this.
That's correct.
And they signed off on this also?
That's correct.
Who's the architect on it, JBHM?
No, this is Dale Bailey. and Associates.
Bailey?
Yes, sir.
And we had a meeting, we had to have a meeting. It was us, our business manager, Mr. Harrington, and the architect. We had to shift some stuff around because the prices have increased. So prices are increasing every single time. And so the things that we had planned initially, we had to move some stuff around and do some things a little bit different. Because they said that this is just the norm right now, that everything is increasing the longer that you wait. So,
Is everybody good with it? The superintendent, you're good with it?
yeah, I'm good with it. We had a long talk.
Can I get a motion to that effect?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Get a second?
Thank you.
Second.
Need a motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Approval for federal program to advertise for contractual services and waive license for 22-23 school year. Just for the advertising, can I get a motion to that effect?
That's, all right. What is that for?
The Microsoft, it's for Microsoft.
Waive license and all that.
It's for professional
it?
development.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought it was Microsoft.
It's to put out the RFPs for professional development.
Oh, sorry.
All right. So, here's my question. If we have professional development on something this year, school year, do we normally follow that up with more professional development on that same subject? As a board, how can we track if we improve in that area or not?
We actually ordered the software Glimpse to help us track the performance as well as the money that we're doing. And we also have an evaluation instrument required by federal programs for us to evaluate external providers.
Is that gonna be presented to the board before we approve these contracts moving forward?
When will we get that software?
But we're in the onboarding process now. So we already have it.
You got it, y'all working on it,
Yes, sir.
we'll be given some data as a board as it relates to these professional developments, whether we get our money's worth, whether
Right.
it's working
The return on investment.
Correct.
Yeah. bang
That's
for
the
your
purpose
buck.
of that software.
as a board.
Yes, sir.
Does it also show, the need, like the initial need? Why did we go with this? Why did we need the service? Do we have data to support that, or did we just say,
How do you decide?
Now, how we decide on who, the principals decide that.
okay,
Once the RFPs come, they are the ones that they do the scoring rubric, all that, they select based on their school
the
needs.
needs?
Yes,
That's what
based on
I'm
their
And,
needs.
and this is the other thing, as a district, we have a district focus that we give them, but then the principals pick the other focuses that they want on their school.
You may say language art.
We may say small group instruction, and then they can pick whatever else that they wanna do for their year.
So
So
we'll
they
have
have an
data
option.
to support, right?
Yes.
What it was prior to it, what it is after we've gotten it software.
Right, that's what Glimpse does.
Okay.
And that's the first year we've used this?
Yes.
What did we use in the past? Word of
Yeah.
mouth?
No.
That's,
Word of mouth?
They have
and
it.
I'm gonna tell you, we learned some stuff, you know, you do all these audits, and, that was one thing that we learned through the audits, about that you need all of this other stuff, because you have to report it to MDE.
You know,
support what you're doing.
Yeah.
Correct.
see if you get any bang for your buck.
The software actually is just, is it actually measuring improvement, or is it measuring how well the staff liked it, or is it?
It measures the improvement as well, so it'll take where we are, like, right now, at the end of the year, and then we can track it for the next year to see if the money that we're spending on the programs is actually working. So it tracks,
It'll be
all the way
next
down to
year
teacher and
before we
student.
Find out whether it made a
Yes,
difference
sir.
or
But we're starting on it this year, so they're actually doing the upload and sharing the data now.
not. Okay.
All right, can I get a motion?
But this year, before we let that contract, we won't have any doubt.
We have data in the system, but we won't be able to compare it until we have something next year to compare it
It's gonna
to.
be a year. They have to, they get it, then,
Like get a baseline.
yeah.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
Second.
The motion second, all those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
So,
Opposed? Ayes have it. Approval of termination, reapproval of 16th section lease.
Good evening. This is the lease that Mr. Charles Anderson currently holds, but Mr. Anderson is leaving the area, going with children, and he wants to sell off his property and all those things. And I have two people who are interested in this lease, Mr. Cooper and Harris. They're asking for a 40-year lease in order for them to receive what they need to receive from the bank. Banks won't do it if it's not 30 or more years, and it's hard right now because a lot of districts are only doing 25-year leases. But they're asking for a 40-year lease, and this lease, 19944, will be terminated, and then they will go into a new lease agreement with the Cleveland School District at your approval.
Is there an increase in the lease payment?
Yes, sir?
We're from $1 to $2.
No, we have no dollar leases right now.
Hold on that shaving.
Them days is gone.
it's 40 years typical.
Hold on that
Need to
shaving.
be 30.
Well, the reason why you'd want 40, if you're, let's say you're Planters Bank and you're gonna make a loan, the term's gonna be from 20 to 30 years on a lot of your mortgage loans. So,
Yeah, I think it's-
you know, so loaning somebody for 20 years against something they only got a 15-year lease on makes them a little edgy. So, yeah, 40 is great. I mean, we're a long ways from the old days of 99-year leases.
All right, can I get a motion?
Second.
All right, motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Approval for CTE students to participate in Reality Works, an annual job shadowing event. Can I get a motion?
Well, let's do the explanation.
Come on.
I'm curious to hear about it.
Good evening. We are gearing up for our annual job shadowing event. This is when our students go out and they job shadow different people in the field of their own choosing. They're with local employers. They stay out of school, the regular school, all day, and they're actually on the job. So they get a chance to actually go in and see whether or not this is something I would really like to do, rather than spend 4 years in college and decide later on, this is not what I ever wanted to do. So they get a chance to really do a day in the life of what it would be like to be a teacher, to be an attorney, to be a CPA, whatever it is that they choose.
All right, thank you.
We have pretty good participation with it.
We do. In all the years that we've done it, I think we may have had maybe 2 students. We had students on crutches to go because they didn't want to miss it. They love it, they enjoy it, and they get a chance to spend time with people that are in that field, and they actually become mentors. They tell them about different programs and different things that they did in order to get into their job, or even tell them about the pitfalls to make sure that they don't fall in going into the field.
That they didn't count against them.
No, ma'am, it does not count against them. They actually come back after their day and they put together a presentation and they present it to their class and they are graded on it. So they're allowed to take pictures. Teachers go out and visit to make sure that they're in the places they're supposed to be. And the students really enjoy it. The parents, we've had good reception with it every time we've done it. So.
All right, can I get a motion?
I'm so moved.
Second.
Been motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right, approved to provide a pharmacy technician certification program for CTE students.
So we are piloting a new program. As we said, this year we're gonna start doing some new things to allow our students to get certifications that when they walk out of school, they are able to obtain employment. Even if they don't pass their national certification, they can still go on and get a job. Well, with this program, we were so lucky to find someone who was willing to pilot the program with our students that already have a program they're already working. So in addition, what our students would be doing, our students would learn how to be pharmacy technicians. The program that they're working with allows 17-year-olds to become certified. If these students become certified, they have the ability to make up to $19 an hour as pharmacy technicians.
Sounds good.
So that's what 69, the students are responsible for the $469?
No, ma'am. The $250 is paid for by us. I was able to find our students a donor, and they paid for their initial cost of the $250. The students will be responsible for their state certification, their state registration, and the cost of their exam, unless we can find money elsewhere in order to pay for it for them. But at this time, she's only going to take up to 15 students. The students would do 2 hours a night from 5 to 7, 2 days a week, and then 1 Saturday a month in which they will be doing their compounding, which is going to be their specialty.
Who's taking them on? I'm trying to,
Inspired to be LLC.
where's inspired to be?
It is here in Cleveland.
And the lawyers looked at everything.
Let me ask you a question. It is illegal for them to raise money to pay for these, registration fees and stuff like that for these kids? Is that legal?
It's a
In most
donation.
instances it is, I haven't looked at the program, but in most instances you can.
It was donated, right?
Yes, it was.
All right, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Been motion and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Approval for Cleveland School District to enter into partnership with Delta State University Division of Mathematics and Science.
Good evening.
So the Gateway to STEM is a partnership that we have had with Delta State for a couple of years now. Due to some changes that they had in their staff, this is the first year that we were actually able to get it implemented. And so what will happen is we have about 160 students from the middle school who will travel to Delta State Planetarium to learn lessons in science. They'll also have a couple of assessments. Some of the teachers have gone over to the planetarium and they have created a curriculum where they pair what they're presenting in the planetarium with what they're teaching in the classroom. So it's just a wonderful project, and we will be providing transportation, but Delta State will be reimbursing us for that.
It said the cost of the program $2,000.
Yes, sir. That's the reimbursement that Delta State is gonna give us for
The
transportation.
cost of the program is $2,070, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Delta State is gonna reimburse us $2,000.
Yes, ma'am. So we'll be paying 70 out of pocket.
I was kind of confused how the breakdown with the students. So will only 160 students be able to participate, or it'll be interchangeable? I know you said some students 1 month and some students, but it's just 160 total?
It'll be 160 total, so they're gonna do 80 for 7th grade and 80 for 8th grade, but there'll be different students.
How will those students be chosen? Have you got the criteria for that?
Well, some of them will be chosen, the teacher did that. I think it was more so for attendance, those are the ones who were there. And some things, other place, set in place by Mr. Hill. I can get with him and get back with you on that. All right, Charlie. Okay.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve it?
I'm going
Been moved and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Face covering proposal.
All right, this is something that's come up a couple times. We've talked about this a few times, talked to a couple of you all about this. There's been some shifts that's going on in face covering proposals here lately. I think Delta State made a change today, actually. we've had different things come up, people asking, when are you gonna make the face coverings optional? So I guess for you, what I wanna explain to you is, I don't think it's a good idea to do that right now. I don't, I think we have we always have a spike. When we come off of a break, we're gonna have a spike, and it takes us about 6 weeks to come off the spike. So I send you all the data every week, and the first week normally is high positives, high quarantines. The second week, the positives go down, but the quarantines go up. Then that third week, it starts to break all the way down, and you can see it in the data that I send you every time. We have a long break that's coming up, which is spring break. That's gonna be a transit, I call those transit breaks, because the kids are going everywhere and people are going everywhere. So we know that there's gonna be a spike. So, but that is our last break. So 6 weeks after that break, that gets us around the 25th of April. So if we're gonna change it and make it optional, the 25th of April is the best date to do it. The other thing that you want to think about is, you gotta have 95% of your children to test as a district. If you don't, you're gonna have an automatic letter grade reduction. So if your district scores a C on the state exam holistically, and you didn't have 95% of your children to test, it's gonna drop you to a D, automatically. So, that is a fear that you can have too, but the 25th of April is the best date. In my mind,
Testing will be completed by the 25th of April.
the testing window opens on the 11th of April. 11th of April is when the testing window opens. And then you have until
Till mid-May, finish up, second week of May.
Yeah.
Have you got your testing plans yet? So what's the last test date?
In fact, last Wednesday of that second week of May.
So actually, that gives us 2 weeks to be without it. And that helps us to also prepare for next year. Because I can see next year, next school year, 22, 23, that we can make it optional. And it gives us a chance to plan it out too. Because I always tell everybody all the time, we're a year ahead of every district around us. What we're doing this year, what they're going through this year, we went through last year. And so what we're going through this year, they're going through next year. So, because we were the only ones to go to school. But like you always say, they gotta be at school to learn something. And it'll be a shame if we did it too early, and those kids and those principals work so hard, and those teachers work so hard, and then you can't get what you worked so hard to get. So that's why I'm saying the 25th of April.
And give them a couple of weeks before the test day, they could be without that.
Yeah, that'd be like 2 weeks.
So you'll bring us a recommendation closer to that time?
Yeah.
So in essence, you're saying, leave the mask mandate in place, right?
Right now,
April 25th.
until April 25th.
And it becomes optional.
Yeah,
Then that's something change.
I'm bringing that to you.
I got no problem with
We
it.
can take it up at the next board meeting.
Okay.
Table it.
And the thing, like I told Mr. Evans, like, they haven't given us any waivers, like the state. The state haven't given us any waivers.
You can't say, I wouldn't say table it, because you still need a decision for the schools to know what to do. I say leave it in place the way it is. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
That's what we're doing.
We're not changing the table and the recommendation.
Table the recommendation to next
The
board meeting.
recommendation is to leave it to April the 25th, right?
That's what's in place now.
Let's table it, it'll come up for discussion at the
Next board meeting.
And
That'd
then
be
we
close.
look at it again, it may say, we don't need to do that. It may say we need to do that.
That's right. Can I get a motion?
I just want y'all to know.
Motion table.
And I'm
All right, all in favor? Everybody in favor of table it, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Personnel agenda.
I want to make a motion to move personnel to executive session.
All right. Can I get a second? Motion second to move personnel to executive session, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All Can I get a motion to consider executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second to consider executive session, for state reasons, personnel, student misconduct, legal matters. Can I get a motion to go in executive session for those state reasons?
So moved.
Then motion and second, all those in favor? All right. Now, we'll take about a 5-minute break.